B2B Cambodia, the portal for business use in Cambodia.
So what are the main differences that you see in the property development in Cambodia compared to other markets, neighbouring markets or some markets that you might be more familiar with?
That's a great question. And I think a big one, some of our partners in the US, they've asked me, William, why do you buy raw land?
Yeah.
Why do you do that? You know, it kind of, they scratch their heads and they're like, it's very uncommon for a lot of American builders.
Mm-hmm.
There's a term that's used in the States called a master developer.
Yeah.
So many times you have a master developer, which will buy large swaths of land, do a planned development,
mm-hmm.
but then they do all the infrastructure, right? So they do, okay, parks here, landfill, drainage, roads, power, utilities, yada, 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 right?
Yep.
And they do all the subdivision work. And they sell finished lots to builders.
Mm-hmm.
So someone like me in the States would buy, okay, I'll go to a master developer or a building complex, it's pre-planned,
Yeah.
and say, okay, I want to buy 50 lots. And the master developer that say, okay, we'll sell these 50 to Borey Williams, sell these 100 to this other developer,
Mm-hmm.
and these 20 lots to builder C, and these 300 lots to builder D.
Yeah.
And they'll have collaboration and builder right next to each other that are a different brand,
Mm-hmm.
but there's still cohesion and they look well together. It doesn't look like
Right.
a weird hodgepodge of, a factory next to a house next to a, kind of a weird overlap. But that's very rare here.
Yeah,
very,
for
very
sure.
rare here. I've only seen that once in actuality, and then I met with someone else that was open to the idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very rare, which is unfortunate, I think. And when there's actually a whole other model that can be that is normal in other countries, I would like to see that more in Cambodia. I think more collaboration like that. That's.
I think
I think that would benefit the market actually.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I guess leading somewhat into the next question, what we're seeing, or what we also hope to see is in the current environment, in the current landscape, which is not exactly as easy as to sell property as it was in 2019 compared to today. And what we're hoping to see is the whole industry working together and collaborating more, for a more sustainable market. So I agree, this element could really be part of that, and more collaboration between developers.
I think there are some definite main factors that contributed to going from a white hot market.
Yeah.
Everybody buying and selling. I mean, crazy deals happening, and then to a huge drop. I mean, there's some big factors for that. But yeah, I think maybe more collaborative models could actually help. Yeah.
The next question was, what are the main challenges at the moment? So maybe just the state of the market from your point of view.
Yeah. I think the biggest connection is with banks.
Yeah.
I think the biggest connection is with banks, for sure. Last year, take a look what happened. It was oh, Ukraine. Yeah, but Republic Bank in the States
Mm-hmm.
went under or was eventually bought out by someone. Sun Valley, Credit Suisse had problems. There were some bank problems, pretty big names out there. And so I think a lot of local banks here, they jumped on the fear bandwagon and said, that's scary. What do we do? Coupled with the Fed raising the rate in the U.S. So they raised their rates. I think the sharpest rate hikes, consecutive rate hikes, it just spiked high in the States. And so source of capital in the U.S.
Yeah.
For U.S. dollars, which is a dollarized economy, whether we like it or not, it is. So if banks here, they're using USD and their source of capital leads back to the States, they all raise their rates in tandem with each other overnight. Right. Last year, it was a total switch. You could just see it with a large number of banks to fixed deposit. Okay, let's do whatever it takes to ramp up the rates for fixed deposit to keep our deposit holders, Maybe behind the scenes, I'm not a banker, maybe behind the scenes, there was nervousness about a run on the bank.
Yeah.
Maybe in years gone by. Happened to be an election year also.
Yeah.
So nervousness. Nervousness. Oh, what if people come in and take all their money out of the bank or something like that? Didn't happen because everyone's using their QR code to make purchases now. So everyone's using their phone to function on a daily basis. So people needed to keep their money in the bank. So that running the bank is not really a thing. But anyway, I think that was a huge deal. That customers' buying power was diminished.
Yeah.
So if a customer could afford $1,000 a month payment and buy a $100,000 house, now because rates went up, they can still afford $1,000 a month payment. They can't buy that same house.
Right.
They can buy
of course.
less of a house. Or not the house they wanted. So I think there was a mentality of maybe hurry up and wait. Let's wait and see. Maybe this thing will blow over. Let's see what happens. Kind of thing. So I think that really negatively affected definitely home sales for developers around the country.
Of course.
That were anticipating or planning for things that continue on. From going from a white hot market. Even throughout COVID, we were still selling homes and developers still selling.
Yeah. Can you also give us a overview of regulation in the Cambodia real estate market? What's relevant to property development? Yeah, so there's new regulators, relatively new, and everyone's adapting to that. And forms need to be filled out, and reporting, and so on and so forth. But I think the most relevant piece of the component to talk about is quality control. So and kind of looping back to differences with other countries as well. So like in the States, once you frame in a house, you can't move on to the next step until you have it inspected and signed off, right? So Cambodia is definitely not there yet. Eventually will be. Yeah. I mean, undoubtedly it will be. When that happens, don't know. But I mean, right now, especially for consumers and buyers, they need to know that the quality control is on the builder. Yeah. So that's why it's so important to buy from a reputable builder. I was going to say, right? That's not going to cut corners. And I would say, it takes a lifetime to build reputation and a moment to destroy it. So anyone is cutting corners and not building with a reputation, sooner or later, I mean, they won't be in business. So if you don't have that, you won't be in business long. Yeah. So I think we've been through a lot of examples of why Borey Williams has been so successful, a great addition to the Phnom Penh housing market, and you've developed. It's a long way to go. No, you've seriously developed a great community. I've been out there, and but on the flip side to this, what were some things you did get wrong? What were some of the biggest challenges, and how did you turn that around? Well, I mean, one was. I alluded to it earlier, was demarcation of boundaries. For example, when we bought a piece of land that was hard title, we want to put up a fence. We have to put up retaining walls so we can raise the level and then build a fence. Neighbor sometimes say, "Hey, you're building on my land," and say, "Wait a minute, what?" No, we're not. This is what the GPS is, and I don't care what GPS says. And so I can think of a couple examples where we were actually given directions by the local authorities. Okay, go according to the tree, to the to the mound between the mound between the rice paddies, or something. You'll use that as the baseline. And it's like, okay, but then it'll have issues later down the road, won't it? And it's like, well, it'll avoid a headache now. Yeah. Okay, so you avoid. Because we don't really care if we lose a few centimeters or a half a meter here, there. But so what would happen that the neighboring landowner would be, happy for then, and it solves an issue there. Yeah. But then down the road, another homeowner says, oh, wait a minute, exactly. The hard title says this, and then the land says that. Yeah. The actual survey says that. So survey issues has been one that we've had to be flexible and had a learning curve with. And what is one piece of advice you would give to a developer looking to enter Cambodia? There's lots of opportunity everywhere. So in the early stages, looking for opportunity,
maybe be open to more collaborative situations. If you can find a place that has finished lots with hard title already subdivided,
right?
That can take a lot of that.
Yeah,
a lot of those steps just out of the way. So you don't have to buy raw land. You don't have to rezone it. You don't have to subdivide it. You don't have to work. Have headaches with neighbors. Demarcating the border. Landfill is another thing. We're just trying to fill land. The types of dirt that you're filling. I mean, there's some nuances to it, and so someone coming in, just being very clear about their strategy. Do they want to be a home builder, or do they want to be a master developer that buys land and do everything A to Z? We always think about sales is at the forefront, and so is it a match for customers, and how are you going to communicate your product to your customer? And I think a lot of developers may say, let's use an agency. Let's use an agency. But what we found is that in many cases, they don't represent us 100% the way we want to represent ourselves to the customer.
Yeah, 100%.
So we definitely work with agencies, and we're happy to. Wide open door and say, welcome, let's work with agents, But putting maybe too much faith or too much expectancy on, we'll just outsource that function, There will probably be some functions you need to have in-house and need to keep it in-house.
Yep, agree. And just to wrap up, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. And I loved learning a bit about property development myself. So thanks a lot.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Thanks.